So hello everyone, my name is Ian. I'm here at the Chicago International Film Festival. I'm here with the director of the film Amerika Squared.
That's right.
Yannis Sakaridis.
That's right.
I hope I
Yes.
pronounced it right.
No, you're doing well.
Okay, so could you tell us a little bit more about the film itself and what it's about?
Okay, Amerika Square is a square in Athens, and is basically the modern Casablanca of our times. It's a square where thousands of immigrants and refugees go to as a first station to find a piece of paper or to find a smuggler who will give them the trip to Western Europe or wherever they want to go, because nobody wants to stay in Greece. So during the crisis, the refugee crisis, because we had many crises in Greece, millions of people went through that route. So and during the last 10 years, this square has been the subject of many racist attacks. One of our really famous murders happened there. A hip hop artist got murdered by members of Golden Dawn, who's the Nazi well, they call it a party, and basically the area is sort of back in the 60s was the Via Veneto of Athens. So it was this incredible place where all the artists were staying, and all the intellectuals and people like Maria Callas used to live there. So there's a big diversity in the housing. There's a sort of the big, huge flats at the top, and as you go down, like we did in the film, you get smaller flats, and then you end up in the sort of underground bottom flats where you get 10 or 15 people living there. So it's a kind of diversity which I really liked about the area, and that's why I created 3 stories to try to tell what's going on there.
I like that, because during the film you had those 3 stories eventually intermingling, but as you know, you kind of actually alluded to my second question. I wanted to know why it was called Amerika Squared.
Yeah.
But as you said, it is an actual square in Athens, and the fact that you wanted to hit that diversity, because not all of the film is in one language too. You had the
Arabic. We have English with Syrian accent, and we had various people talking Syrian or Egyptian, so and obviously Greek. So that's the diversity of this place.
Okay, I remember one of the things that was brought up in the film quite a bit, that was talked about by some of the characters. Borders are business.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? I know you already spoke about how people look for papers on there, but what's the full meaning of how you're talking about borders are business?
Yeah, borders are business, because there is a whole hypocrisy about it. Governments close the borders, but at the same time they leave a window open for thousands of people to get the opportunity to go. So the whole thing starts from Turkey, and then they sell trips to Greece, and then Greeks or various people in Greece sell the trips to Italy and Germany, and obviously now we have closed borders. So prices got more expensive since we last researched, and yes, I mean it is business. It is business. People see it as a business opportunity, and people come prepared to pay a lot of money to get their freedom. So it's a straightforward business, which has got basically people as victims and clients, So it is business. That's
And
how we see it.
I remember too, watching the film, it seemed like in the stories there was always that wanting to escape or move on kind of thing. At least two of the two of the stories you had one character trying to get out of the country with his daughter in any way possible, and then you had another one of your characters who was trying to help a girl escape, and it seemed like there was always that escape. Was that also something that you wanted to highlight in that film too? About just wanting to move on?
Yeah, basically there is a huge refugee crisis, but at the same time we have a huge immigration of Greeks going abroad. It's the biggest immigration since the 50s. And they go abroad because they can't find any jobs, and especially young people like the woman like Teresa. And they are overqualified. They've got PhDs, masters, they've got degrees, and they can't find a work or a job, or even in a in a cafe place. So it's or anywhere where they can work. So regardless their university qualifications, they can't get anything. We have something like 7,000 doctors who left, qualified doctors who left Greece to get a job in Germany. So there's a huge mass exodus, not only of refugees, but Greek people too.
So another thing, you have the main story, it seems, where a lot of it's centered around as well. The main character, you were talking about earlier about the big racism in terms of, because of all the influx of immigrants. Do a lot of people in Greece feel that almost like the tightening in terms of like there's so much influx of foreigners in there that it's maybe changing how their communities are looking and feeling?
Oh, sure. There is a sort of two reactions to the story. We had a school that kids basically applaud the refugee kids coming on the first day of school, and we have another school where parents locked the exterior door, basically closed down the school because they were afraid of the refugee kids starting school there. So this is the diversity of the reaction in Greece. Of course, there is racism. The Nazi parties got something like 12 to 15% in the previous election, and plus you have all these people who are racist but they don't agree with the Nazi party. So there is a large population, not the majority, but a large population of people who actually are against the refugees, unfortunately. And that's not happening only in Greece. It's happening everywhere in Europe, and it's happening in America too, with the Donald Trump's sort of. So yeah, Brexit was caused of that. I mean, in Hungary there is basically a bunch of fascists who govern, and so it's a general problem, nationalism.
Okay. Well, how does it feel being here in Chicago, especially for the Chicago International Film Festival? Because this film is part of the new directors competition, and there's a lot of talked about films, and your film is right up there with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor. This is one of the best program teams in the world, I feel, because every time I came here, this is my second time, there were some of the best films in this new directors competition. So I'm honored to be among these, and I'm honored to be twice, my first and the second film. And I promise now I'm not gonna be any more new director with this one, the next one, to try to get to the next level. So I love Chicago. I was here last time for 11 days, and it's one of my favorite cities in the world. So
well, we're happy to have you. Have you been able to get a chance to see any other films and see not just your competitors, but just see what else?
Yeah, I just watched Strike a Pose, which is an incredible film, a documentary, and I had one of the best Q&As I've seen in a festival, where one of the main characters of the film, a Chicago-based dancer, and now he's who was present and gave this incredible Q&A. So.
What can we look forward to for your future projects then?
I want to do something. I want to do Asian film. I want to do. I want to do something in Asia, and I love Korea, and I love India, and I love Hong Kong. So I want to do something there. So it's going to be something between Greece and Asia.
I mean, those are you pick some good countries that are big into film. So I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. Be able to put something together like that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Are you looking for something more, similar along the lines of Amerika Square in terms of a little drama with a little comedy, or something more?
Yeah. That's my style. I like to do drama with a little comedy inside. I don't take life so serious, and I always look for credible characters in a credible environment, social structure, and people talk as they talk in the everyday life, and so it's a kind of a new neo-realism with a touch of lyricism, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down and talk with us.
Thank you.
I mean, if anybody else gets a chance to see this film, is this going to be released on DVD or?
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, or in sort of iTunes media later. So
that's where everything's going. It's gonna be all digital.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you again.
And hopefully you enjoy the festival, and the reception is as big as it was when I was at the press screening. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you.